Hello and good day. So this video, we're going to bring you current on some of the blog posts from Martin Armstrong of Armstrong Economics and the current trends he has seen that are generated from the Socrates Quantum Computer system. That quantum computer system has a 90 to 100% accuracy rate on all types of things around the human condition, on the economics, on politics, on nations, on tectonic movements of the planet, on weather, on business cycles, on food cycles, and even sports cycles. The quantum computer system, Socrates, is amazing. So I'd like to keep you updated. Hi, I'm JJ from Paranormal Talks, and we look at all things outside of the boring mainstream areas. We're in the paranormal, the unseen area, where you really find the answers to the weirdness that is going on. But it's all going on right on time. So we'll be taking a look at the output in the blog from which Martin Armstrong posts daily. God bless him. He works so hard. And then I also want to show you a short little clip from my visit to the protests happening in downtown Denver around Stop the Steal, the fraud vote, the fraud election that went on across our entire country, well, across the entire planet, because all countries use the same voting systems all around the world. So they have all fake politicians and elected people in their offices, just like we do here in the United States. So I want to show you just a clip of that. I spent 2 hours on Capitol Hill amongst the Antifa and the burn, loot, and murder protesters who were there against the Trump supporters who were protesting Stop the Steal. So we'll take a quick look at that. But most of it, I'll be reading one of the posts from Martin Armstrong on an update of the Socrates computer system, that all is not lost in our world with these lockdowns that are killing us. Forget the virus, which is fake. I can get to that, but it's killing us, just the lockdown. Not a virus. The lockdown's killing us. So I'm going to share my screen and let's take a look at this. Here we go. This is our website, Paranormal Talks. If you want to know more about me, you can just go to About Us and scroll down through that. There she be, JJ Wells. That's me. Hi. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can also see our educational videos, or woo-woo educational videos that are posted. Some of these are from one of our several conferences that we have each year. Wisdom and Your Guides, Dreams, Controlled Remote Viewing, an expert speaker here, and Energy Medicine, etc. Okay, that's Paranormal Talks. Okay, let's take a quick peek at this little protest. I probably have about 24 short videos of the protests that I attended in downtown Denver. And I mostly hung out with all the Antifa and burn, loot, and murder children. And why do I call them children? Because I'm old. I'm probably twice their age, the average age there being about 29-ish and a half to maybe 31. And if you look at the videos, you will see that everyone's pretty much the same age, except me. So we can take a look at, I always have to play with the sound here for you. Got to fix that to prevent the echo. Okay, here we are.
Okay, so this is where the wheelchairs go. So this is the only area I've seen the wheelchairs, is here. So the wheelchairs only go over here? I don't know. Because this is the only place where I've seen, this is the only place I've seen the wheelchairs, is over here. I haven't seen the wheelchairs anyplace else. I see wheelchairs and I see some bicycles. So how come only the wheelchairs are over here?
Do you need to move to the wheelchair? Need to go here?
No, but this is where the wheelchairs go, I guess, because there's one there and there's one here.
Well, open it so they can be right here.
Oh, that's okay. I mostly need to find a toilet because they should have toilet rallies so you can stay here and rally for a long time.
We're standing up on pole
But the going no, they don't.
Heavy breathing, boys. Calm down.
So that's just a little snippet. There was a lot more excitement during that rally. That's not in this clip, but the riot cops were there. The riot cops were protecting the Trump supporters against the Antifa and the BLM, the burn, loot, and murder. And if you look at more of the videos, you will see that very clearly. The children there were unkind, nasty, insulting. And when I went by the Trump supporters and had a chat with them, and you'll see it on the videos also, they're very nice. They were not insulting. They didn't scream and call me names. But I actually had fun there. I even danced with the Antifa children. But let's get back to Martin Armstrong. I want to show you the graph. I want to give you some background. This is the big picture of what the Socrates computer system generates. And I want to show you this before I read the blog, so you'll have some background as to the accuracy. This is the big picture. This is a cycle that goes through the world. And we will begin another cycle in the year 2037.25. Right now, we are here in the 2020. We've just begun the monetary crisis, which actually technically, astrologically began May of 2018. So it started someplace right in here. And then the Second American Civil War / revolution began in January of 2020. Now, what kicks off revolutions and civil wars is money, is the currency, is the theft of wealth from the producers, which is you and I, which is us little people, us worker bees, us skilled worker bees. So we started here, and that began the monetary crisis. We will be feeling that, and it won't be done with us until 2026. But in the meantime, we're going up to another cycle, which is a commodity boom. Now, commodity booms are all types of foods, pork bellies, corn, wheat, gold, silver, platinum, and all types of commodities. There will be a boom with that will hit the height in 2024. Now, if you remember back here in 2011, about the spring of 2011, there was a peak in the gold stocks and the price of gold. It shot up to almost $2,000. And then it fell back down. So these turning points, which are called phase transitions, that's a physics term, a scientific physics terms. Phase transition is the change of a direction of the cycle of energy as it moves through a system. And you and I, as flesh bodies, we are a system, and energy moves through us too, and moves through all of humanity. So this is the big picture. Now we're going to drill down so you know where we are right now. Okay, so we are in this area right in here, okay? And by the way, you see this top point here in the year 2032, December of 2032. This is the peak in the West. This is the peak in the United States and Canada and Europe, actually. But for the United States, this is when the price of real estate falls off a cliff, boom, just like it did in the 1930s during the Great Depression. All right, here's a drill down. This is a closer view as we tune our microscope. And 2020 here, January 18th to be specific, astrologically, the date was January 12th, 2020. This is the beginning of the Second American Civil War / revolution. That will not be avoided, no matter how much Q wants it to be avoided. No matter how much Trump might want it to be avoided, it will happen. And then in the March of 2022, this is the implosion, the collapse of the United States government as we know it. Now, I've heard from other sources, very knowledgeable sources, that Trump will finish up his term, his second term, starting in 2021. He'll finish that up 2021, 2022. So he'll finish out 21 and 22, and then he'll be gone in 23-ish. And that's where you see this date here, 2023. He will pretty much be moved out, and another person who's already been selected will step in to finish that 4-year term. These cycles have a 90 to 100% accuracy rate. Now let's look at the blog site of Armstrong Economics. Where did that go? Let's go over here. Here we go. All right. Martin posts information about Socrates or other events that reinforce and confirm the Socrates quantum computer system's trends. Now, this one has to do with the lockdowns that are killing us right now. Not the virus, but the lockdowns. How come I can't make this picture big? Forget it then. Okay, ArmstrongEconomics.com. Check it out every day so you know what's going on. This is Martin Armstrong is not 100%. I mean, him, the person, is not 100% accurate all the time. He has his opinions and his biases, fine, like we all do. But the quantum computer system is very, very accurate. We may not, it's like a dream, or like looking at the graphs generated from a stock investment. We may not always understand what we're seeing until after the fact, and that's how we learn. And the same can be said for some of the trends that are generated by the quantum computer system and that Martin Armstrong interprets. He's getting better and better at it. But man, these reports are very accurate. So this blog article, and I'll read some of it to you, it's kind of long, is how our artificial intelligence, which is the quantum computer system, artificial intelligence computer, forecasts the failure of Schwab, that is Klaus Schwab of Europe, and the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is who is causing your world to be locked down now, because the bankers who run this with their fantasy ideas, they're going broke. And they don't want to, so they're locking you down and sacrificing you to save themselves. It never works, because we are the basis of all wealth and enjoyment in the world, all of its little worker bees, skilled creative worker bees. Okay, so let's read this article. So it is the Socrates quantum computer system. It does monitor the entire global community. As I said earlier, all the economics, all the business cycles, all the political cycles, all the weather cycles, all the sports cycles, et cetera, et cetera. Global. He's not kidding when he says global. It is that extensive. So let me read a little bit to you. Martin Armstrong says, I find it really interesting how Klaus Schwab of Europe champions, and Klaus talks about this at the World Economic Forum with Bill Gates and all of the others of their ilk who hate humanity and love to see most of us dead, that Klaus Schwab champions the fourth industrial revolution and how artificial intelligence will change the world. So we have to help shape it, says Klaus Schwab, by destroying what we have right now, in order for Klaus Schwab to design the Great Reset, the brave new world in the mind of Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates. Only an academic like Klaus Schwab would be that arrogant. The artificial intelligence system that Martin Armstrong designed was from being a programmer and a Wall Street trader, not an academic economist with book theories. So Martin Armstrong has hands-on, on the street, boots on the ground experience. That's how you know, not theorize with your fantasies. I find it ironic that the economic theories that dominated the world during the 19th century, with the exception of Marx, had hands-on, and Marx, that is as in Marxism, as in communism, he had hands-on experience. Today, academics who lack any hands-on experience claim they have degrees. The world these people are trying to create is nothing more than a theory with no real world experience. Oh, and here's a picture of Klaus. Okay, here he is our ruler. Okay, he knows best. You don't. He does. Okay, just so you got that straight. He's not very pretty, is he? Let's scroll down. Now, Martin Armstrong has had offices, economic and financial consulting offices all around the world. And one of those was in Australia and one of those was in Japan. So let's read this section. We are dealing with the Middle East in Geneva at that time. That is where all the OPEC money was being invested, was Geneva. When I was asked to open up the offices in Japan, I was reluctant. When I went there, I was stunned at how many people I knew. Hold on. Piece of junk. Do I need to get a new mouse? Ugh. Okay, so how many people he knew? In the 1980s, it was clear to me that capital flows were the key and that the talent around the world moved with the capital flow. Now, listen to what he said here, that capital flows, that is the movement of money, were the key, and that the talent around the world, when he says talent, that means you and I, talented people, intelligent, educated, experienced, talented people, producers who create things like the internet, like cell phone apps, like any type of app that makes things possible, all types of inventions. So Martin Armstrong found that money will flow and is key in that it follows the talent around the world, and it moved with the capital, with the money flows. When the CIA approached Martin Armstrong and his organization after their 1998 forecast with Russia, because it was 100% accurate. Yeah, you'll always get the attention of the CIA if you have a software model that predicts monetary and people behavior. You will have the CIA showing up at your doorstep because the CIA is for sale and they have clients on Wall Street and elsewhere who want that information for their own investment. So in 1998, the Socrates Quantum Computer system forecast that Russia would fall in 1998, and it did. Their Federal Reserve System collapsed. It imploded across that whole entire country because the United States had so many sanctions on them at the time. That's what made their banking system collapse. The United States, that's who did it. We meddled in Russia big time. So Russia would fall. They too acknowledged that I had invented capital flow analysis. Others have tried to implement, and that's true. His quantum computer system does do that. Piece of junk. Okay, let's scroll. These observations were behind the design of Socrates. Here I am in our Australia office from 1986 with an IBM XT. We would provide clients to access the Socrates Quantum Computer systems. We were the largest forecasting firm in the world at the time, and in the 1980s, late 1980s. When I testified before Congress in 1996, we have about 50% equivalent of the entire US national debt under contract. This is why the bankers assumed I had more influence than they did. Oh dear. No one can have more influence than the bankers, and they have influence right now, and they got you locked down. Yes, they do. And they're destroying your livelihood. The real difference we provided advice rather than selling clients products that made the bank the best product rather than the client. So he talked about us, and you can pause the video and read some of this yourself. So we have the computer of Schwab's fourth industrial revolution, and it is forecasting that his dream, his fantasy, and his little boy brain to take over the world will fail, just as it failed for Hitler, just as it failed for Mussolini, just as it failed for Stalin, just as it failed for, who's that Chinese guy? Yeah, that one. Failed for all of them because they also had the same idea as Klaus Schwab. Schwab will be remembered one day like Hitler and Napoleon with wild dreams of taking over the world. And it is his idea that will unleash World War II. By the way, we're kind of already in World War II, if you didn't notice. It's the new and improved 21st century World War III, without bombs, without tanks, without soldiers marching up and down our streets. It's now digital, and it is a psyop war that is taking over our minds and terrifying us. Schwab will create a steep economic depression because he is inspiring the destruction of small businesses around the world. It has been our consumer economies that have created peace, not our nuclear arsenals. And as for his inclusion and equality, and as for Klaus Schwab's inclusion and equality, he is creating the exact opposite, isn't he? His lockdowns to destroy businesses has set off a massive exodus from urban to suburban living behind ghost towns void of employment. He has set in motion the hoarding of wealth and food and water and gold and silver, probably. Hoarding of wealth, and that will only lead to higher unemployment. Schwab has not just set loose the dog of war, but the dogs of domestic war and domestic war and civil war, because under his ideas, his little fantasy Brave New World ideas and his little pea brain, equality can never be achieved. By communism collapsing, people were free in China to be innovative, which drove China to the #2 world economy, beating socialist Europe even with their single currency. The sooner people rise up and put an end to these lockdowns, then the more we will preserve our world. Because, by the way, obeying a lockdown does not save you. Don't think it saves you. You're one of the first to go, okay? Otherwise, these academics have no idea how to create an economy. Nobody has ever done so, ever. It is human ingenuity that creates all advancement. That is the creativity, the talent that you have. So creativity creates all advancement, not government. Ever. Government has never created advancement. You do. No government told me I had to write a program. What I wrote in code was to bring to life what I saw with my own eyes. Nobody ever taught me about the world economy. They still do not teach foreign exchange trading or hedge fund management. These are all skills that are self-taught on Wall Street, not in any university, not at Harvard, not in Yale, not in Princeton. They are learned on the street. And that's what makes your world go round. To this day, the elite bankers still hate my guts and claim I have too much influence. But the truth is simply that we sell advice that is not laced with a conflict of interest. We do not pitch any stock because we have investments in it. So they look out for the customer. They advocate for their customer. Go figure. What a concept, eh? We do not design products to sell to clients and then trade them with inside knowledge like Goldman Sachs does, like JP Morgan does, and all of those bad boys and those of their ilk. Okay, this is the paragraph here with the 90 to 100% accuracy to give you hope about this lockdown. Even if you do want to sit on your ass and let other people do the work, Klaus will still fail. So sorry, Klaus Schwab. You are championing the fourth industrial revolution, which is nonsense. Who knows nothing about how to write an artificial intelligence program because it takes people with real ideas and observations, not centralized bureaucrats with fantasy clouds and rainbows floating in their heads. Well, this AI program is forecasting your great reset will fail. F-A-I-L, fail, fail, fail. You can take pride in knowing you have probably hurt far more people than even Karl Marx, the communist, the socialist communist. If I were you, I think you better build a bunker and stay in there, and it better be underground. When people rise up in Europe, they will be coming for your head. And in America, Bill Gates, they'll be coming for your head. You have probably created many Maximilian Robespierres, however you say that, who will seek revenge. I am glad I never took a booth at your Davos events because Martin Armstrong was and has been invited many times to have a booth, to communicate and to business network at Davos with all the other yahoos. It will be better if history remembers me as not being a Davos man. So how do you like that? 90 to 100% accuracy. So you're going through a lot of pain right now. You've lost your job. You've lost your livelihood. Some people have taken their lives. Few have died from a virus that does not exist. And we can talk about that, but you have to get familiar with the CDC website, the Central Disease Corporation of America that analyzed the COVID-19 virus. And their lab report, published in July of 2020, shows they were unable to isolate that virus and it was unavailable. You must isolate a virus from the soup of biological matter in which it floats, as all viruses supposedly do. Page 39 of that report, there is no virus. And if it does exist, you have to email me the link to the proof of a CDC equivalent type of medical scientific organization that proves it does exist. So far, the CDC has found on page 39 of their lab report, it's a 59-page report, it does not exist. So Klaus is the author of this lockdown and the fear that you skitter around under because of it. It's pretty effective, isn't it? So that's a little update. This lockdown and the takeover of the world, as all of these tyrants have tried before, it'll fail. It'll fail. And that's why they're attacking Martin Armstrong. They don't like the truth out there, but I'm here to spread the truth some more via my woo-woo Paranormal Talks little videos. So that's a little update to bring you current. Sorry I was away so long. I missed you guys. It's so fun partying with you. Wish you could be here. So until then, until the next update, the next astrological or whatever update, hold tight, gird your loins, because we're going into December and January, and it will get rougher for you before these evil people are done away with. Okay, so until then, see you guys later. This is JJ from Paranormal Talks, paranormaltalks.com, and talk to you later. Bye.